Hey guys, I recently posted an Instagram story asking if anyone was interested in a portfolio review from me, and I got flooded with messages, so I'm definitely going to do more of these soon. And in this portfolio review, I'm going to review a brilliant designer called Rafzin, and I think he's very talented and he has a lot of good stuff in his portfolio, and I'm going to review it in this video, so check it out. So in this video I will briefly go through Rafzin's profile on Behance and on Dribbble, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If not, just bear with me on that. So as you start, as I'm looking at your Behance profile, I think it's a solid start. The profile picture shows you pretty well, although I would consider having a profile picture which shows your face at least like 70-80% of it, so maybe like a more front view and a little bit better lighting, but overall I think it works. And let's go into the actual projects. Overall, I think that you have quite a lot of projects in this Behance profile. So if I were a potential client, maybe I wouldn't look at each and every one of them like in depth. I would like literally scroll as I would do now, and I'm not sure that like it's the best way. When I first started out, I used to do a lot of quantity approach, but I recently discovered that clients when they're looking to hire potential like new designers, usually they'd rather like have a few projects which are the best projects. Have them highlighted. So I would suggest you to actually have maybe, I don't know, between 6 and 9 projects, and those are your absolute best projects that you have. That would be my personal recommendation. And I would really focus down on the type of projects that you'd like to work on. So for example, if you really enjoy web apps and iOS apps, I would really focus on showing that instead of print design, for example. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a good start. So let's start with this project over here. I'm seeing some branding, some nice looking pictures, and brand integrations. I like the fact that you integrated the brand into these contextual views. That always helps to give clients, some idea of of making the actual brand concrete. And I won't go like too much into the detail of the project because I don't have like the full context on this, but something that I would recommend you to do is to add more contextual text on the project, the reason why you decided to go with these design decisions, and just add some context to this, because having good looking images alone, like that's good, and as designers we really focus on that, but actually having text and giving the client context as to why you actually decided to go with that direction over the other one, that's something that's really important and that the client values a lot. And again, over here there isn't like really much of a description, so I would consider that. And I mean, if you could give the client some more context regarding the app, because like I myself as a UI designer, I can give you some insights over the technical part, but at the end of the day, clients that are looking to hire you, they really want to understand the why you did certain things. But overall, I think you are on to a good start, and overall the visuals, they look good. There's certainly some areas in which you can improve, but I think that overall it's pretty clean. This one, it's also quite extensive, showing more screens. I think it's definitely something that it's good because clients will have a better understanding of the project. So for example, this project in particular, the Udens app, I think it's more solid than, for example, this first one, where there isn't like much for the client to evaluate. So I would consider mainly having projects like this over these ones, if that makes sense. And again, I'm also seeing some print design and some stationery work, some logo design. This one looks pretty well constructed, and yeah, I'm also seeing some storytelling, which I think it's good. So yeah, this is also, these contextual views are pretty nice, and yeah, also these experimentations, the behind icon. I like this because this it's more of a storytelling. It gives the client or the potential client some insights as to why you went and used this specific icon. So I would definitely lean in towards more of these processes, these styles, and yeah, I mean, I think that overall it looked good. Again, for this type of for this project in particular, I think that it's a little bit too vague. Only one picture doesn't make the project justice, really. Now, this is it when it comes to Behance, and so yeah, I would highly consider to do those points that they mentioned, to consider them. And now let's take a look at your Dribble profile. So I think that your Dribble profile looks pretty good. It has lots of nice UI designs. It's very clean, very modern. At a first glance, I think it's pretty cool. And I especially like the dashboards designs which I'm seeing, which are pretty clean, minimal. And these are the type of dashboards that could work well for tech companies, SaaS companies. So definitely you're into something over here. And I'm seeing quite a bit of them together with some iOS apps and some branding. So at a first glance, the Dribble profile communicates to me that you're more into UI design, meaning like dashboards, some websites I'm seeing, iOS apps, and also some branding once in a while. While the Behance profile, at a first glance, it communicates me more branding and more print. So that's something you might consider based on the type of work that you're actively looking for. And yeah, I mean, I won't go too much into the details of the post of the projects, because as you know, dribble shots, you cannot really go that much in depth, but overall this looks good. Also the comments which I'm seeing in the single post are pretty okay for the platform, and you're definitely onto something here. So I think that just to wrap this up, the designs that you make are pretty good, and I don't think that's going to be like a problem when finding new work. You definitely are onto something here. I would focus more on the whys of the project and giving the client more contextual view, and write more text about the project, or shoot a screen share video explaining a project. But yeah, I think it works pretty well. And one thing that I would like to give you as a tip, and this is more from a high level, it's the fact of creating a personal website, because I think that Dribble and Behance are pretty good when it comes to showing like the visual design skills, but a personal website really allows you to actual like go more into the depth of the projects, and actually gives that extra personal branding to your persona, which I think it's quite important. And having a personal website is just something professional to have. So in my case, for example, I have my own personal website, and I'll just show it here briefly. You can go through it, but basically in my personal website, I show the clients that I worked for, showing like their big companies. So, and after that, there's like a services page in which I show the different services which I offer, and the ones that I don't offer. And I also have created like dedicated portfolio pages for different type of projects with a brief explanation. And usually during the discovery calls with clients, I would go much more in depth, speaking about the particular projects. But yeah, I mean, I think that a personal website can definitely benefit you, and you definitely have the skills to create a stunning personal website. So I would highly suggest you to consider that. But overall, Rafzin, I think you are definitely on the right road. You have some really cool designs, and yeah, I hope this review was helpful.